In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are checking out a WordPress plugin called Commandify, which is going to help you navigate your WordPress website the way that you wish that you could by default, out of the box. Before we poke around the website here a bit and then look at the actual solution together, just a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos cover products we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website and product for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for, they're not sponsored, and they contain no affiliate links. If you would like videos like this created for your business, go to influencewp.com/partners and request your free partner membership. And we thank Commandify and the team over at wpRigel for being a partner. If you like what you see in this video, go over to our website, find the deals, and grab the exclusive offer for Commandify. All right, so the website we are looking at today is wpRigel. That's WP and then RIGEL/Commandify. All right. Otherwise, you just go to wpRigel.com and then just do up under the navigation. You can easily find their plugins. All right. So we're going to look for some key pages. We're going to highlight the features just so we make sure we don't miss any when we go to look at the actual solution. And then some key pages like the About page, look for a changelog and some documentation. All right. So up here at the top in their top navigation, I do see a link to the docs. So we can go ahead and try to knock that one down. This looks to be some very good docs. We've got some screenshots with annotations. We've got some GIFs going on. So it looks to be really good documentation. So I'm just going to do a search for a random word just to see that the search is working. Let's see, what can I find? I'll do a search for the word wait. There we go. So that seems to work just fine. So the docs are good. Let's look for a changelog and an about page and all that good stuff. Okay, here's an about page. So we have their story. We have some names, team member names. Okay, here we go. We've got some photos, but that looks like, okay, that's just like generic photos. So that's a pretty good about page. I'd say the only thing that's missing here is just actual team members' faces and names to help establish that trust with potential customers. That'd be my only thing that I would suggest there for the about page. So we've gone through the docs, the about page. Here we go. Here's a changelog. So this link is called Docs and Changelog. So maybe it was already in there. Let's see, Docs and Changelog. Okay, we're going to go to Commandify. Okay, so we've got a light version and a pro version. Let's just go to, okay, here's the Commandify changelog, free and pro over here. Probably could have searched for it as well. Okay, so they've got an update as new January 2nd, 2026. So it's active. We've got a changelog. We've got version numbers with the dates. Awesome. So awesome changelog. Did I hit it all? Features. There's the only thing left. So they've got a good about page. Just need those faces with the names. They've got docs and they've got a changelog. Cool. All right, so let's go to the features. So products, Commandify. Here we go. Commandify brings a clean, powerful command palette to WordPress. You can navigate, search, and manage everything on your site without breaking focus. So work faster, stay organized, do more with the power of search. So WordPress has a command palette built in. There was something going around social media the other day on X, where I think it was a poll actually, where very few people use the command palette. So maybe if WordPress had something like this, or you just use this plugin, obviously, then maybe people would use it more, right? I asked the other day about if a solution where you could search through plugin like docs and things like that on the site. So a lot of times with like the command palette that comes with WordPress, or we're going to see that. I don't want to speak about this tool because I never used it before, but oftentimes tools like this, they can surface certain things, but they can't get into every plugin. So like, let's say you had 10 plugins on your site. The search, the command palette, the command solution, the search tool like we're going to use here can't always get to those other solutions. It can get to WordPress and it can get to their solution, but it can't always find docs and settings. That's the word that was escaping me. Docs and settings within other plugins. And I thought it'd be cool if there was just a universal solution that you could just sit there and type a search for any keyword that you were looking for, and it would just help you find it, regardless of the plugin that you were trying to get support for or find the settings for. Okay. So work faster, not harder. So we're going to stop digging through menus. We're going to use search instead to find what we need. So reduce mental load, focus growth. So we're going to have one consistent interface for everything. So we're going to do less context switching. Empower your workflow, turn multi-step actions into single commands, edit content, manage settings, or install tools without losing momentum. I think that's the part that one of the parts that I'm like really, really excited about is I think, can I install or deactivate a plugin with just a simple command? I think that'd be really cool. Keyboard first navigation. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. One command actions, run essential tasks like clear cache, check updates, and so on with a single command. Install without navigation. Search, install, and activate plugins or themes directly without leaving your screen. So that's a really cool thing for me to want to test. Universal content search. Search through post pages, products, and any custom post type from one unified search bar. So we'll see. We'll see what we can search through and find. Instant user search. Look up users by name, email, role, etc., etc. Okay, here we go. So we got like a more concise list here. I probably should have found this first. Palette launcher, menu-driven navigation, content search and actions, plugin thing, okay, maintenance shortcuts, user lookup, okay, custom preference. So it looks like we can set our own shortcut keys, things like that. Keyboard first, progress, feedback, smart progress bar appears when longer REST API operations staying out of the way for your instant JavaScript actions. So that's cool. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're going to be reviewing Pro today. So it looks like there's even more under that. Smart default view, start with curated groups of commands, like your favorites, your recents, most used. That's really cool. Contextual command packs. Commandify recognize the screen you're on and suggests relevant actions. Very neat. Publish preview filter, okay. Advanced settings forms. Edit WordPress settings like site title, time zone, and so on. Okay. Toggle and state commands, turn features on or off like maintenance mode with accurate true false states loading through the REST API. Dynamic pattern recognition, paste an email, hashtag post ID or user ID. Commandify instantly suggests actions for that. WooCommerce orders control, search orders, update them using structured actions. Add notes, apply coupons, wild. WooCommerce products and variations. Each product and variation appears as its own entry. So you can view, delete, update stock pricing. WooCommerce customer tools, find customers by email, name, orders, usage analytics and enhancements, refined pro styling per user usage insights. And beacon endpoints keep your Commandify history and palette state consistent across navigations. And then they have some integrations here. WooCommerce, Contact Form 7, Elementor, Bricks, user switching, Fluent Forms, Fuzzy Search. And then we have a lot of integrations upcoming. So that's really cool. So it's not just WordPress and it's not just WooCommerce. We've got other things we can do. Fluent Forms, search through the forms, the entries, transactions. With Elementor, you can export, duplicate, rename, create templates. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. All right, let's check this out. We're not going to go through every feature. I've just rattled all of them off. We're not going to go through every feature, but we'll tinker around just a bit here. It's not meant to be first look. It's not meant to be a full tutorial or anything like that, or comprehensive by any means. Just more of a high-level introduction. All right, so where do we find this? Tools, settings. Here we go. Commandify is under the settings menu. Here we can, under the general settings, we can configure the basic behavior of the command palette. Enable command palette. Okay, yeah, we definitely want that. Enable on front end. Enable command palette on front end for administrators only. Recommended for admin convenience. All right, let's toggle that on. All right, what's the keyboard shortcut we're going to use to invoke Commandify? Default is Command K. We're just going to roll with that. Let's go ahead real quick. I'm going to do something. Let's turn off Commandify. Oh, it won't let me. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, so let's do a Control K. Oops, that's not it. That's interesting. So Control K without this turned on brings up my browser bar. Let's turn this back on. Control K when this is on. There we go. So it overrides it. That's cool. I'm trying to think of what the command palette for WordPress actually is. I thought it was Control K. Let's turn this off. Let's do a Control K. Yeah, here we go. That's interesting. So Command K without Commandify installed brings up the default WordPress command palette. Command K when I have Commandify enabled, but not the actual Commandify palette enabled, it defaults to my browser bar. That's very interesting. So here's the default WordPress palette. So I could do a search. Let's do a search for posts, for example. You see what you get here. So it's a pretty simple thing. They do have plans, I believe, in the next WordPress version to enhance this. So we'll see what happens there. But let's go turn Commandify back on. With that on, and with the default setting of Commandify, if I do Control K, that brings up Commandify. But what's interesting again is if I turn that off, but the plugin is still on, and I do a Control K, it like bypasses the WordPress command palette and goes straight to my browser address bar. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Okay. We've got it on, turned on. We've got our shortcut, Control K working now. WordPress command palette. Disable the default WordPress command palette to prevent, okay, there we go, to prevent conflicts. Show recent commands. That's cool. Enable favorites. Yeah, let's do all that. Performance settings. So we can optimize results per page, debounce delay, cache duration. We're just going to leave all that default. Cache management. Clear all cache commands and search results. Users can customize their own preferences by clicking their profile in the command palette. Available user preferences, keyboard shortcut override, results per page, and so on and so forth. So this is, so I'm like, is this like each, I'm assuming it's got to be admins, right? So each admin can have their own user preferences. So if I go to my profile, let's do a search for Commandify. Okay. Let's see. Let's read this again. Users can customize their own preferences by clicking their profile in the command palette. Okay, so maybe we got to bring up the command palette first. Okay. Let's try that out. So Control K. Where is my profile? Users can customize their own preferences by clicking their profile in the command palette. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that is. Maybe they mean you can search for your profile here like this. But I already tried to search here for Commandify. Let's just not search for Commandify. Let's see if there's something else in here. Maybe palette. No. All right, we'll move on. I'm not quite sure what that particular setting means. All right. I guess that's it. Because over here under the Commandify menu item, we have account and pricing, so we don't need that. Do I need to install the base version? Let's go over to the docs. So back to that whole profile thing, I think it's going to work with anybody that has a user role with access to the dashboard. So that could even be like an editor or an author. So I'm wondering if we have to have the free one installed as well. All right, so let's go. Let's just check it out. I feel like this is a little too simple. But maybe that's it. Notice I didn't say like underwhelming, underwhelming or anything like that. Or I just mean simple as far as like, hey, there's not a whole lot you need to do for settings, and it is what it is. But I'm thinking that we have to install the free version, even though we weren't prompted to. No, okay. So we just need either free or pro. So that's cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete the free version. I guess that's it. Settings, Commandify. I think that's it. I just don't know where we do our user preferences. That's the only thing I'm not clear on. Wow, I'm not seeing it. Let's do one. We'll do one more really quick search here in the docs for user pref. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's do a search for profile. Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. So let's check this out. Let's do a Control K again, just to keep practice bringing this up. So here we can jump over to plugin settings, for example. So all the various settings. So this is the WordPress stuff, okay? Here are the actions. So check for updates, empty trash, log out. Let's do check for updates. So I'm just going to click on this tools button here, and you see this star. That's cool. It looks like we can favorite that. Let's do that and see where that appears once we favorite a tool. All right, I'm going to run this. Check for updates. It says found one WordPress update. Let's run that again. I think it would be cool if that this is probably a lot to ask, but if once that notification comes up, if you could click on that and then it takes you right over to it. But I guess, we're in the palette. Maybe we're just we type updates, dashboard updates. Maybe that's how you're meant to do it. It says there was one thing ready for an update, but I'm not seeing it. Let's turn on all of these plugins. So we see, I can't really see an update here. Let's go. Yeah, it should be an update there. I'm not seeing any updates. All right, let's do that. Control K. Check for updates. It says one WordPress update found, but I'm not sure what that is. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Pretty self-explanatory here. If you want to empty the trash, flush, read, write rules, log out, clear the transients. All commands. Okay, let's do this. Let's try install plugin. I'm going to favorite that one too, and we're going to find our favorites here in a second. So install plugin. Something that comes to mind. Let's go contact form 7, just because we read about that integration. Boom, boom, install. It's done. That is really cool. All right, let's go over to our plugins, just check everything out. And there's contact form 7. It's not activated. Okay, so let's go Control K. Let's go activate plugin. Boom, boom, activated. Let's refresh. There we go. Really, really neat. So let's go over here. We can deactivate plugins, activate plugins, do some plugin settings. Can this get to the settings of other plugins? Settings. Okay, that's just command palette settings. And based on what I just did there. Contextual. So maybe it's in here. Plugin settings. Yes, yes, yes. All right, let's say we want to get into ebook crafter settings. Will it take us actually there? That's really neat. That's really neat. Now, the thing I mentioned at the top of this video was the ability to search specific settings within a solution. If I type Google Fonts into Commandify, what happens? Let's go all the way back out. Control K. Google Fonts. Yeah, see, this is what I'm going above and beyond what Commandify obviously is meant to do. But this would be a really cool feature for anybody that wants to take this on is, find the ability. When I typed in Google Fonts here, show me everywhere in the WordPress dashboard where there's a Google Fonts setting that I can change. Okay. I think that would be a really awesome thing to have. All right, let's go Control K again. So we have our okay. So the favorites appear up here at the top. Makes sense. Here are the recent things we've done. Here's our actions we've gone over already. Here's all the commands. There's a lot of pre-built commands. What if we want to see all of our, you're running a WooCommerce store and you want to see all of your out of stock products. Important thing. It's an important thing if you manage stock, right? Let's click on this link. We don't have any, okay? Which we don't. What if we need to failed orders? We're not going to have those either because this is just a test site and I haven't done any of that. Let's go search for customers. Do I not have customers either? Let's go find out. WooCommerce customers. I do not. Well, actually, I do here. I have one myself. So let's go Control K. Let's go search customers. Oh, I see. So it's not just going to find them all by default. I thought it would maybe like list the top couple or something. So I can just do IWP here and find, no. Search customers. So now it's going to go in the context of searching customers, search customers by name. All right, let's go back over to our customers. I shouldn't have to do this. We should practice, right? How do I get to my customers? Control K. Customers. WooCommerce customers. Go. Okay, so it's like a habit you have to break of going to the context switching, going to the menus, bouncing back over to the command palette, and so on and so forth. So I do see, I searched by username. Let me copy this email address. And let's go Control K, search customers, search by name or email. Okay, so that doesn't appear to be working. All right, let's go ahead and move on. This is something that always comes up if you're an elementary user, regenerating CSS. So that it could be a nice, handy thing to have at your disposal. What if you want to go see your Elementor templates? Okay, very nice. Fluent Forms. Show me my entries. Show me my recent entries. There we go. Wow, this is really, really neat. Huge. This is gonna be a huge time saver. I'm definitely using this. I said, there's something else going around social media, and they were talking about what are you most looking forward to in the next WordPress release, and my answer was two things: performance and an enhanced command palette, because I wanted to really start using that more and saving time. So I'm going to start using this right now because this is something I've wanted. All these WooCommerce, boom, jump right to your subscriptions. It's all muscle memory. If you can just stay in here or keep Command K and just stay in here, you're going to get You know, I do lots of support and website maintenance. So log into a client site. If they have this, I can just see bam, 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 you know, or be really cool. I wonder how this works too on multi-site, like what kind of stuff that you can do. I don't know if there's a feature for multi-site, but I can imagine if you had, I don't use multi-site that often, but I can imagine it could save you a lot of time there too. I'm not 100% sure on that. If you have a multi-site, let me know in the comments if you've used something like this or like the default command palette, if it's really useful in saving time. All right, let's go back to the Commandify website and let's just go really quick through the features and make sure I've touched on all of them. If not, we'll see if we want to touch on them or not. Keyboard first navigation, yeah, we've done that. One command actions, we've seen that. Install without navigation, we've seen that you can install and activate a plugin directly from the palette. Yep. Universal content search through posts, pages, products. We haven't done that yet. That's actually something that we should try. So if I have a post here, post 1, let's put some unique content in here because these 3 posts are identical. So let's just put in IWP post 1, just so we know we have something unique. And I'm going to search by that term. Sorry, that word, not the term. Okay, let's go back out. Let's go Control K. Search through posts. Yep. Content. There we go. Found that post. Instant user search. I think it didn't work with WooCommerce, but let's just try like a regular user. So I have IWP is the username and I have this email address. Okay, let's type in users, search through users, navigate, search users. Okay, so this is kind of what I thought earlier when I was pulling up something and I thought, well, I thought it would put like, oh, I think it was those WooCommerce customers. I thought it would list like, you know, the first couple like it's doing here. So maybe there's some small issue with WooCommerce that needs to be addressed specifically because it looks to be just fine with users. So recent, we're going to search users, search users, search by IP or email address. There we go. So that works just fine. Instant palette launcher. Yep. Menu driven navigation. Yep. Plugin. Yep. We've got all of these. User media lookup. Let's try the media lookup and then I'll get you guys out of here. So let's go. Let's go this one right here. The words David East are in this particular image. Type in media and we're going to do search media. Oops. We'll search for the word East. There we go. With that chosen, we can go, what can we do then? We can open that up. We can click on it. We can then edit. So we didn't do this with I didn't do this with any of the other things. I just didn't think about it. Click on the image. We can edit, view. So we could do it. Okay, so that's that because that image opened a new tab. So we lost our Control K. So we bounce back here. We can delete from here. We can edit. Okay. And then right from there, you're doing your edits. You can do Control K again. Wild. Let's go back to a post. Let's do posts. Okay, so that takes you to the post. Let's do that search post. Search posts, post 1. Let's click on it this time. There we go. So now we can edit it with the block editor, edit it with Elementor. We can preview it. We can view it on the front end. We can change the status, move it to trash, duplicate it. So let's go duplicate post 1. There we go. So here's the thing. Let's go back to plugins. I don't think I have any plugin installed in here to duplicate posts. Let's do this. Let's deactivate everything but Commandify Premium. and WooCommerce, because we know WooCommerce doesn't duplicate posts. That's not what it's for, right? Let's try this again. So in our recents, we should have, so I did that search post, and I feel like that should show up here in recent. So that might be another little bug. So if you're watching this, Team Commandify, it looks like there's a couple little of niggles that could be worked out. Let's do search post again, post, search post. Let's delete this post. Move it to the trash. Yes. Okay, let's go back to our post. It's all, see, we're staying in the menu here. There's a back arrow. We can go back. Let's now click onto that post 3 and let's duplicate that again. So that's actually built into Commandify. There's even more functionality. And I don't even think they talk about it here. Okay, well, duplicate. I guess it is there. But what about just regular post content? So I guess that's another bit of feedback. I think you guys are selling yourself a little bit short here. So here's the comparison between the free version of Commandify, Commandify Premium, and then Command UI, which is another WordPress plugin. Can I do a search for duplicate here? Okay, here we go. So I should have hit this page first. I would probably have this, more feedback. I'd probably have this on your features list. That is really neat because that eliminates a plugin potentially. So that's something that the competition, doesn't do, according to this. So this does a lot. This is way more than the WordPress default command palette, which is basically just search and navigation, I should say. Wow, this is wild. If you use bricks, look at all of these bricks things. Look at all these form integrations, maintenance tools, regenerate thumbnails. That's a potential plugin eliminator as well, because that's built in. The last thing, I keep saying last thing. Another thing is that front end command palette with context. I'm not quite sure. So if I view this post on the front end, probably need to turn on the admin bar. Let's do that. The toolbar. There we go. So I'm on the front end, maybe a Control K on the front end. So it has nothing to do, I don't know why I was thinking it had something to do with the menu, the toolbar. So let's go back here. It's my fault. Refresh, Control K. That's wild. So you don't have to be in the back end. You can be in the front end of your site and run these commands. I'm super impressed. Commandify team, wpRigel, super impressed. Super, super impressed. Love it, love it, love it. If you love it too, you love what you've seen, influencewp.com/deals, grab that exclusive offer from wpRigel to get Commandify. And I'll see you all in the next video.